Blue collar, white collar, black professors, white scholars, politicians, Dalai Lamas. Everybody in the whole wide world need hope if I be honest. I'm in that number.
Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Rob Report. I'm your host, Robert BOBTV Brown. How you doing today? Well, as a New Yorker living in New York City, I'm from the Bronx, the boogie down. And I have my problem with Mayor de Blasio, a lot of issues. But I got to admit to it, your boy been on the road. Not only have he pushed for legislation for legalizing marijuana, getting those who are incarcerated for marijuana out of jail, but he's trying to put them in a position where they can start their own business once they get out of jail. Now, of course, that didn't come from him. That didn't come from Cuomo. That came from Cynthia Nixon, who this is the very purpose why you primary people in a race. Whether they can win or not, they need to be primary. They don't need to just have an open door, red carpet way to the position that they're trying to campaign for. They have to earn their keep, and they need to be pushed sometimes on some legislation. And Cynthia Nixon pushed Cuomo on the marijuana issue. And knowing Bill de Blasio, who's always in competition with, Governor Cuomo, they always button heads. I don't think they really like each other. I think Cuomo is always trying to bully de Blasio around because I'm the governor, you're just a little mayor. And he's saying, I'm a mayor and I got just as much power in this state. So it's always just tit for tat. But Cuomo, he got you beat, man. Not only has he pushed that, which Cynthia Nixon was talking about, trying to allow brothers to get first take into the business, the share of the business when it comes to legalizing marijuana, cannabis, whether it's medically or recreationally. But now he's just put in a plan for Medicare for all. Now, this is huge. This is huge. Now, New York is a very expensive place, but it's an awesome place to live at. It's always something to do, always places to go. And there's so many flavor of people, so many variety of people. You can have friends. I love New York. And I'm a Southern boy from South Florida. I love New York. But it's expensive as crap to live here. And our government has been too lenient and too open to private businesses taking control versus the city or the state providing a lot of jobs to the average person. But we're getting better. So not only last year did Governor Cuomo got with Bernie Sanders to institute low cost, and I say low cost or no cost education, because if you're making under $250,000 a year, you are able to go to a SUNY or CUNY college in New York City for free. Now, of course, there's caveats to it, but the bottom line, tuition free. Now, most of the people in New York City don't make $250. They probably barely make $35,000, $40,000. So that's a lot of people still being in a position where they can get a better education. Now, this doesn't go for Ivy League school like Columbia University, NYU, but it's CUNY and SUNY College. CUNY and City University of New York and State University of New York. But still a good deal. And you can always migrate to the other ones once you get a certain amount of education. So huge deal for New Yorker. This just happened about a year ago. If it wasn't for Bernie Sanders pushing Hillary Clinton to the left, that wouldn't have never been the talk of the town, but it is currently the law in New York State. Now, fast forward a couple of weeks ago, de Blasio, always in competition with Cuomo, trying to look like a progressive. But I got one eye open like The Rock. I don't trust none of you still. I'd rather see your action than what you say. And in this action of legalizing marijuana, getting brothers out of jail, sisters out of jail, put them in a position where they could take a lion's share of the business opportunity before any corporation come in and snatch it up. Huge deal. Now, two things just happened. Push for a minimum 2-week vacation, paid vacation off the bat for workers in New York City. That's good. I'll talk about that another time. But this Medicare for all for the residents of New York City. Watch this.
York City Mayor de Blasio says the new health care option will be available to people who can't get into other affordable care programs like illegal immigrants. It's estimated the plan will cost $100 million a year.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Fleischer live in the South Bronx with the details. Tim.
And the mayor's plan, simply put, is he doesn't want you showing up here at the emergency room for primary care. So now he wants to provide health care to hundreds of thousands of residents who don't have access to primary care.
We want to get everyone covered in one form or another. The emergency room truly should become a last resort.
The mayor believes too many city residents turn to health and hospital emergency rooms for health care. But now, surrounded by doctors at Lincoln Hospital, he's rolling out NYC Care as a way for residents to be connected with primary care doctors.
Don't wait. Don't feel it's not for you. Don't feel you can't afford it. Get the health care you need when you need it.
The program will be open to anyone who cannot afford health insurance and will be able to get comprehensive care in more than 70 locations in the city's health and hospital system. NYC Care will provide a primary care doctor, access to specialty care, patients will be able to get prescription drugs, mental health services are available, and the care will be priced on a sliding scale.
Let me start right there. Do you see this? It's going to provide you primary care doctor. So you'll be able to get the screenings and things that you need without going into urgent care. So the simple basic things, regular checkups and things like that will be available to you. You get access to specialty care. That is huge. Now, I don't know the details of specialty care, but you're going to get access. Prescription drugs. One of the most costly things in America is prescription drug. But here in New York City, under New York City Care, you'll be able to get access to prescription drug. Mental health services, something that's a missing element in a lot of healthcare plans, unless you're paying more for it, will be in this plan. Based on the sliding scale, which means right now, New York City always had good healthcare service. They had the essential plan, which usually costs less than $50 a month, sometimes from $0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, usually not more than that. And yet at the same time, it still give you the opportunity to get what they call Cadillac programs if you want to. De Blasio is not stopping you from making the whole city where all the healthcare or the insurance companies got to leave out of state. No, you still have those options. But he's basically saying, no, it costs too much to have you go to the emergency room, to have you deal with emergency care and urgent care. It is costing too much. So let's have something in place where it can deal with any kind of care. So you don't have to always get to emergency care. I mean, I literally, when I have asthma issues sometimes, and I usually have to go to the emergency room sometime if I don't have access to. There was a time when I didn't have the money, I didn't have access to buying a pump. A pump would be like $75 to $120 extra money I didn't have, and it was too costly. So I would go to Harlem Hospital just to sit under the ventilator to open my lungs up. Going to the emergency room, that costs money. Why? I didn't have the money to buy the pump. So either I'm going to pay $80 for the pump, or I'm going to pay the emergency room fee. Well, emergency ain't gonna charge me right off the bat. I'm gonna get the medication that I'm gonna get the medical care I need, and they're gonna send me a bill. I ain't been paying them bills, so they stopped sending them. So that's a different story. But that was back in the day. Now New Yorkers do not have to worry about that. They will always get access. This prescription drug thing is huge. So I'm gonna tell you. I mean, if you're doing something, I'm going to give you props. I don't care what nobody else said. Then kiss my behind. If you're actually getting stuff done, I'm going to give you props. Do I believe? And when you don't get stuff done, or you're going to blow people off, I'm going to come down on you a little bit and still love you. Still going to love you. Let's keep going.
Would help Nita Garrier.
I pay out of pockets when I go to the doctors.
But you don't have a primary.
No, I don't.
City officials claim 300,000 residents would be eligible, with an additional 300,000 undocumented residents eligible, and will cost $100 million annually. The price tag drawing concern from Michael Long, Conservative Party chairman.
He feels very free to spend taxpayers' money at any cost, and which is only going to lead to higher taxes and drive more, actually lower income people out of the city.
Man, sit your ass down.
Now, let me start right here. Now, $100 million, you got people that live in New York City that sits on that all day, every day. $100 million a year is nothing. One little small tax coming on your paycheck can pay for that. Imagine New York City has about over 2 million people easily in the city that lives in the city. It's the biggest city in the world. Now imagine for those who are working a job, they just take out maybe $10 of taxes out of your check for the whole year. So you got 1 million people, $10 out of your tax. Let's say $10, $5 out of your taxes a month. And it's about 1 million of you working. That's $5 million a month coming out. Just $5 taxes. Now, which one would you rather have? $5 taken out of my check or me paying a $75 to $100 a month insurance bill? Take the $5 out of my taxes, man. I'm going to eat it anyway on a Big Mac, large fries, and a Coke. Take it. So, fool, you going to tell me, Mr. Michael Long, that you wouldn't take advantage of that? You'd rather pay $200-300 for some insurance when you can have the same doctors available to you to take care of some of your most urgent needs, especially crisis need, let alone primary needs or pre-care? So you're going to yip and yap? No, if anything, Doc, it's going to drive people into the city because where they're paying at, they can't afford it and it costs too much. And the only thing they're going to face moving to New York City is the rent is just too doggone high.
I mean to introduce myself. I represent the rent is too damn high party.
That's the only thing they ain't gonna face. But with having a $15 hour minimum wage and having the healthcare situation dealt with, which take out a whole chunk out of your annual salary, is medical care. It can eat your whole checkup. So you sitting up there yipping your mouth talking about it's gonna raise the taxes up and people gonna move. Dude, nobody's moving. Dude, New York is becoming the go-to place to go to. I can get a good education in New York City and it don't come out of my pocket. My taxes gonna pay for it. I'm gonna be able to get health care. I don't have to worry about extreme situations. I can go ahead and get stuff done way ahead of time. It's already paid for out of my taxes. I'm making $15 minimum wage plus. Yes, it's expensive here, but I figure it out. At least I ain't got to pay that medical bill. At least I don't have to pay student debt trying to get an education. These things that should be a right in America. You got the nerves to talk about tax paying. It's going to cost more tax. Number one, it's not going to cause people to leave the city. The only thing that causes people to leave this city is the rent is too doggone high.
Allow me to introduce myself. I represent the rent is too damn high party.
Others who have benefited from affordable care support the plan.
I know there are still hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers who aren't covered. People who are foregoing treatment are fighting for their lives while they fight hospital bills that they can't afford.
Now let's go back to this. 300,000 people will be eligible. Most people fall under that bracket where they can't afford it. And some of them can't even afford the essential $20, $30 plan. Another thing that the city has done is it has come up with a plan to provide Metro cards for those who can't afford Metro cards. A weekly Metro card, which is one I normally get, is about $35 a week, $100 and something a month, $120 rounded off. Most people can't afford that. And a lot of people are looking for jobs through the Metro system, and they're jumping the stalls, they're asking for swipes, they're getting tickets, trying to go out and find a better opportunity where the city say, hey, we're going to take care of that too. We're just going to come up with the funding if we have to raise the money, if we have to come up with some kind of lottery system or whatever to generate a extra fee at a toll booth or whatever to generate the money, we're going to come up with the money. Let me keep going.
The program will begin this summer and is expected to be up and fully running in 2 years.
So it is a beautiful thing. It is a good day to be in New York or be a New Yorker. Now, like I said, I got my problems with Blasio, especially dealing with the housing crisis. The housing crisis is huge. We need to take more funding and reinvest in. If you can't do a statewide housing program, do a local like you're doing with the Medicare. New York City is one of the most expensive, if not second to Hawaii. Hawaii, Honolulu, and New York, one of them are first. It is expensive here. But if we can alleviate some of the stress on our money by providing no-cost health care or low-cost, super low-cost health care, providing education for all, SUNY College and things like that, giving you a way to get better education, helping deal with the high cost of transportation in New York City. I think if you're a family of about 3 or 4 and you're making less than $25,000 a year, I don't think you have to pay anything to ride the Metro card. All these are social service programs. And this is the reason why you pay your taxes. You don't pay your taxes to go fund Saudi Arabia to do stuff like that or pay all these wars, dude, or whoever that guy was. We paying taxes anyway. It's just going in the wrong spot. So kudos to Mayor de Blasio on this particular story. I got a couple more stories concerning de Blasio. One is about, I already told you what he's doing for marijuana. Now, me, I'm not a marijuana smoker. I don't deal with marijuana. I like to keep myself pure as I can. And I know it might be there's a lot of health benefits for us, the medical use for it, for the liquefied use of it, you know, and I don't knock that. But me personally, I don't do the recreation. You know, I don't tell you what to do. It's your life. You know, as a Bible man, the scripture always say, I give you life and death. You choose, it's your choice how you want to live. So I'm not going to be telling you how to live. But me personally, I'm not a medical marijuana dude. Well, not medical marijuana, but I'm not a recreational marijuana guy. But de Blasio is handling that situation. He's giving brothers for people who are incarcerated for it first dib into the business opportunity, the business side once it becomes legal. Dealing with the healthcare is huge. Now he's going to start dealing with paid vacation, guaranteeing, making sure these companies give their workers right off the bat, I believe, but we'll deal with that story in another story. So thank you, Mayor de Blasio. When I say whenever you do good, I'm going to big you up. Whenever you do bad, I'm going to big you down, Doc, small you down. But this is a big deal. This is huge. New York City is planning on going to single payer. Now, I got another video I want to try to show. No, I'm not going to go into it. I'm done with this. My name is Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you soon. Peace.